Hey, so I'm making a video of like me talking and whatnot because this run was absolutely fucking crazy for me. This took about 12 hours of time. Just to do Radagon and Elden Beast. I was learning the fight the entire time and trying to figure out ways around it. And I was doing this all soul level 1 without hoarfrost. They nerfed it as of patch 1.03. Hoarfrost now does an appropriate amount of damage. It's no longer doing like 1700 with Royal Knight's Resolve. It's not the most overpowered fucking weapon art in the game anymore, and it's pretty balanced. I like the way that is right now. And I was using it with claws and a fucking mace on my soul level 1 character. And um yeah, I beat Radagon and Elden Beast soul level 1, so
Sound effects
let's
on 8,
watch it.
music on
This
4.
is definitely my biggest Souls feat up till now. So I go in here, I rock some charged attacks. Um, the reason why I do that is because I have in my flask right now the bubble flask that allows me to take one hit at severely reduced damage, and then I have the stagger flask, which any attack makes the enemy stagger harder. So all it takes is 3 charged attacks, but 2 charged attacks and maybe 1 to 3 light heavy attacks. Like not light heavy attacks, but just heavy attacks that aren't charged to get a stagger. So I get the stagger there. Switch to my claws because I have frost on my claws. Let out 1 horse stomp. You can see that this is indeed patch 103 because my horse stomp did like 299. It would have literally done like 900 pre-patch. But anyways, I jumped that attack. I put out my hoarfrost on the ground, roll the attack so that when he lands, he gets hit by the hoarfrost and I get some attacks out on him. And you can see that at this point, this is just a game of like weaving in any kind of light attacks that I can get with my claws. The claws do a lot of damage. I'm rocking 4 talismans. I'm rocking Radagon soreseal. I'm rocking the charged attack talisman, the talisman that makes me have increased attack damage when I'm attacking faster, and what's the other one? I'm forgetting the other one, but it probably doesn't matter too much. Oh, increased jumping attacks. Along with that, I also have the raptor armor. So, I wanna point this out really quick. So I actually fucked this up like brutally hard. Um, I I'm using bloodhound step on my mace because I want frost on my claws. And I fucked up the bloodhound step going around Radagon, and I took a fuck ton of damage there. Um so I'm like lightly shitting myself at this point. Bloodhound stepping all over the place, but this is where like my nerves of steel kick in. And I'm just going kind of crazy here, getting some attacks in while I can. And he's getting pretty low, but this is where he starts to go crazy. Sometimes, within his last like 15% of HP, he just goes through like projectile hell, with teleporting projectile, and he's like, this isn't the worst that I've had it, but he's like definitely in it. Where he's just not really giving me much room to punish. So there's attack, projectile, attack, stomp, teleport, stomp. Well, not stomp, but like hammer down. I'm able to punish this, and then he starts teleporting all over the place. And it's really scary when he teleports because he has a huge bag of mix-up attacks that he can use with his teleport. And when he teleports and throws projectiles, that's like my rule to never hit him. Because when there's a projectile on the ground from Radagon, it can explode and fuck you over super hard. And right here, this is just a game of very, very precise dodging, making sure I don't get hit by any exploding projectiles. And then I get 2 hits in here, switch to my mace, do the bloodhound step perfectly behind him, and this is where it just starts to go perfect from this point onwards. So we're only 2 minutes in. The rest of the fight, being Elden Beast, goes for the rest of the fucking 8 minutes, which is crazy. But you'll see why. So I pull out the club and the mace, and I'm getting jumping attacks. This is where the raptor armor and the claw talisman go super fucking hard. I'm doing a lot of damage. And here's a twist. I only go for 1. Okay, my mom came in. I don't remember where I was at. So let's just pretend like we know what we're doing. So, oh, that's a little glitch. Oh yeah, so, I get only 1 jumping attack in on the back because if you do too much damage to Elden Beast, he won't do a melee attack coming down when he goes behind you. He'll actually do one of his key attacks, which I did not want. I get the stagger here with my jumping attacks, because, you know, maces, clubs, they do crazy stagger and whatnot. So I get the stagger, and something that a lot of people, I feel like, look over at slightly like lower level, or like just not lower level, but just players who don't really give a shit about efficiency. You don't need to do the riposte animation, like the riposte, the repost, the whatever. I don't give a fuck. I pronounce it differently every time. You don't need to. You can actually get a lot of damage out without using the riposte animation. And sometimes it's better not to. It just depends on the boss, depends on the situation, depends on how long they stagger for. But Elden Beast, you can get 3 jumping L1s in before you can well, before you have to use the riposte when he's out of the stagger. As you can see, I'm being like very cautious here, because I don't want to get hit by anything, so I'm just bloodhound stepping through everything. I'm not taking any risk with normal rolls. And yeah, just Elden Beast gameplay. At this point is when I start to switch over to light attacks. Not light attacks, but just not jumping attacks, because I don't want to stagger him too hard and too early, because the goal for this run in my head was like, okay, I don't want to deal with Elden Stars, so I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna make sure that he doesn't stagger until I get him low enough to stagger him out of Elden Stars, and that's exactly what I did here. This stagger is extremely crucial to the run, because if I didn't stagger him here the way that I did, I wouldn't have done this run. I ended up staggering him out of Elden Stars, which is the AoE that just like full goes at you. You know, you can't really dodge it for shit. You can bloodhound step through it, but I tried that a lot. It didn't go well. And when I saw him do 2 attacks that weren't Elden Stars, I knew that I was in, because I had successfully staggered him out of Elden Stars. I'm just fucking going crazy on him. And right here, another like God bless moment where he doesn't do Elden Stars. Instead, he gives me triple Elden Donut. I'm running through the fucking donuts, jumping over them. This is like jumping mechanic 101. I roll this because that would have fucking broke my head if I died to that. I roll this again using Bloodhound Step, because I'm like absolutely being safe, making sure I don't want to die. And speaking of being safe, I wasn't being safe here. I exhausted all of my stamina on jumping attacks, and I got the stagger. As he was putting out projectiles, the projectiles hit me, but they actually don't do damage to me because I'm in the riposte animation. I did that on purpose because I knew that, I knew from experience, one of my first times summoning for one of my friends, we staggered him out of his projectile attack, and he still, like, it still came down. Yes! That was me screaming. It still came down, even though I staggered him out of it. And, that's not very fun, honestly. So, I did the riposte on purpose, without going for, like, min-maxing damage because I wanted to immune it. And that was me killing Elden Beast at Soul Level 1. I know you heard me go yes, but that was not nearly as loud as it was to my ears, because I have a limiter on my OBS, so I screamed really hard. I was 21 of these hours, like literally 16 of these hours are purely on Radagon and Elden Beast. I was playing this for a really long time. Had a ton of runs where I think like 8 runs where I full no-hit Radagon, got to Elden Beast, and then died to Elden Stars, and I got him to like 20% by staggering him, and then he did Elden Stars, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't know, just a bunch of like not good moments, but I hope I don't know. I don't usually like talk to the camera like this. Not really good with this. So if you want more Elden Ring gameplay,